Hello, BookTube. I wanted to give you a little reminder. We're right on the doorstep of the month of April. And in addition to all the other things that are going on in April, and there are quite a few, there are book clubs that are going on month by month. There are buddy reads that are going on, all sorts of events on BookTube. There are a whole bunch of videos running down those different events. But in addition to all of those, there is a new event starting in April on BookTube. Mark at Bookheim and Elvis and I are doing an ongoing event. This is not just a month book club or anything like that. This is an ongoing event. You can hop on or hop off as you like, about travel writing. Mark and I have both done a fair amount of travel. And as you know, as a reader, there's a mountain of travel writing from people. It seems like a natural thing to do. It's one of the oldest kinds of writing that there is. It seems like a natural kind of thing to do for humans to go on a trip and then write about it. And so there have been a huge, huge number of books. And they don't always get talked about on BookTube. They very seldom get reviewed. For instance, in my world, in the world of professional book reviewing, they usually only get reviewed if they have a political angle. Did I travel through, the Egypt during the Arab Spring or something like that? But not otherwise, except in a very jokey kind of way, when travel writing can be very serious. It doesn't always have to be, oh my God, can you believe how they fixed their coffee in country X, Y, or Z? There's a lot of variety. And there are a lot of books to choose from. So Mark and I are going to have a field day picking all sorts of different books, all sorts of different authors, all sorts of different time periods, not only when the book was written, but also periods of the world, places in the world. Will we pick books that are all about places that he knows really well? Will we pick books that are about places I know really well? Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun, just a lot of fun. I don't know what more we'll do. We haven't really worked out the bells and whistles in terms of maybe a live discussion at the end of every month with the book that we pick, or that might be fun. Something like that might be fun. But we are adding another book to your burden for April if you want to join us. It's not a long book, and you can feel free to get in touch with me about getting you a copy. But we decided to start off our S&M adventures, our S&M journeys, with one of the greatest examples of travel writing ever written. We decided to start off with a bang. The one brief idea that might have been to start one of the greatest works of travel writing ever is Black Lamb and Gray Falcon by Rebecca West, but it's 1,100 pages long, and I don't know about Mark, but I realize that a lot of you are dead exhausted after the reading demands put on you by BookTube in March. So we picked a much smaller book that is still brilliant. We picked A Time of Gifts by Patrick Leigh Fermor. It is not long, it will not take you long to read, and it is also completely absorbing, so it will not be hard for you to read at all. And it's amazing. I've been slowly rereading it to really savor it for the first S&M journey, and it's even better. It gets better every time I read it. So I just want to give you warning. You have time enough. There are 3 days left, 4 days left. 4 days left, I think, in the month at the time that I'm making this video. That is time enough for you to actually finish reading this book. It won't take you long at all to do if you have a copy, or to make a good start. And then you have all of the month of April. Mark and I will be reading this for the whole of the month of April. This is a very low impact reading event on BookTube. This is just a very normal sized book read over the course of an entire month. And we'll work out the details of, are we going to do regular discussions of it or touch base like that? We'll work out the details and I'll let you know. But this is the book that we're reading for the very inaugural S&M journey. So you surely want to join us for that, despite how many other events you have going for BookTube. In fact, it might be a good idea to just let BookTube determine your reading. Honestly. I mean, of course I'm kidding. You get to do your own reading, but there's an element in which I'm not. Because whatever this thing is that we've got right now, this weird, free, informal community of friends that are all over the map, everybody reading everything, everybody having largely an amount of goodwill towards each other, so that even if someone's having an event and you just don't have the time or maybe don't have the interest, you still love the fact that they're doing it, and maybe you will join in down the line. Or maybe there's an event that comes along on BookTube and it's exactly something you've always wanted to read, but in addition to that little motivation to read it, you've also got great company. You've got a great group of people that you visit with every week online. That's not going to last. No matter what lessons we're taking from the latest blue checkmark drama on Twitter, the one thing it shows us is that this is not going to last. And when it changes, it's going to get worse. So you're never going to have a better opportunity to do this. And I believe that in 10 years, I don't think that anything resembling BookTube will be around in 10 years. But if you are, I bet there's a chance you will look back and say, I should have just given myself over to that. Or 90% given myself over to it. It was just so much fun, and yet I resisted it, thinking that I could pick and choose because it would be around forever. Not that I'm meaning to guilt you or anything. Not at all. No, I'm actually just inviting you to join us to read this book. This is a classic of travel writing. I'm not sure that Mark and I will always pick a classic. You'd think that we naturally would, but there are plenty of books out there that are completely forgotten, maybe even imperfect. The Time of Gifts is not imperfect. It's a classic for a reason. It's one of the greatest works. Anybody who makes a deep study of travel writing would put it in a top 10 list. I don't think anyone would ever rank it lower than that. So it's a great way for you to start. If you've never read it, you're going to love it, I think. But we'll come back to it in the month of April at some point and check in on progress. I just wanted to remind you to lower your inhibitions and embark on an S&M journey with me and Mark. So I'll wrap this up for now, and I'll see you in April. Thank you, BookTube.